welcome to another edition of For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. My guest today is sort of a returning guest the last time we visited his house, but he has come to ours today. Kaba Juf is the owner and head coach of the Rhode Island Reds FC. It's a soccer team. Welcome to our house.
Well, thank you, Sean. Welcome, thank you for welcoming us back to your studio. And, we're excited to have a discussion about our season and what the Rhode Island Reds is all about.
Yeah, so let's start with that. For those that may not be familiar with it, even if they are in Rhode Island, what is Rhode Island Reds FC?
Well, Rhode Island Reds FC, we're a semi-professional soccer team based in the state of Rhode Island, but we also represent the southern New England area. We've been in existence since 2012, and this year we're excited to have a women's team that is going to be playing in the WPSL, which is the largest women's league actually in the world right now.
Nice, very impressive. So how did that come about, the women's league, by the way?
Well, we've since the beginning we've really had a dream to bring really high-level soccer for Rhode Island. So we started with the men's. And now, really, we had an opportunity to actually have a women's team. So this year was a perfect year for us to really start a women's program, and it's been fantastic. The experience, the tryout has been great.
Cool. We're going to get more into the women's team in just a little bit. Let's talk about the men's team that you've been the owner and head coach for a while. What level of Rhode Island's Red FC are at as far as division and that sort of thing, and talk about the league a little bit.
Yes. Well, the U.S. Soccer Pyramid, we're in the 4th division.
4th division.
Yes. You have the MLS. You also have the North American Soccer League, and you have the USL Pro, and underneath that you have what's called the PDL, which is the Professional Development League. There's a USL PDL, and then you also have the MPSL as part of that, Rob. Actually, we play in the MPSL, which is the National Premier League. It's exciting, really. The league has grown so much this year and the past couple of years. We are now the largest PDL league in the country.
Nice.
With over close to 80 teams nationwide.
Wow. So you would have to, it's such a big league that you'd have to break it up by region. Is that how the divisions work out?
Yeah, that's how the division works. Okay. So we actually are in the Northeast division, and we're in the North Atlantic Conference. So we have the Mid-Atlantic, which is teams from from actually Maryland all the way to Virginia. We also have the Keystone, which is mostly teams from New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And then you have the North Atlantic, which is teams from New York all the way down to Maine. So we played with teams like the Brooklyn Italians, which is one of the longest serving amateur team in the country.
It's like a great name, the Brooklyn Italians.
Yes.
So you got a problem playing with us?
Yes, so they're a fantastic team. We also play with the Red Bulls. They're under 23 academy team.
Okay.
They're in our division. We also play with the two Seacoast teams, which is Seacoast Maine and Seacoast Phantoms out of New Hampshire. And this year, actually, we're excited to have a team from Massachusetts again, which is called Greater Lowell FC.
Do you play against the Connecticut PDL team, perchance?
Well, they play in the USL PDL.
Okay.
Yeah, they play in a different league.
Okay, all right. You know what? You mentioned the Red Bulls is it under 23 team? It's interesting that now, other countries have been doing this forever, but now MLS teams are starting to, instead of just having, I know that the MLS has a relationship with the USL Pro,
yep.
But now they're plopping their own teams into the lower divisions. Like there's a LA Galaxy 2 and other teams are starting to do that because soccer itself is getting more popular, and this is like a smart thing for them to do. Right?
Yeah, this is actually that's what everybody else is doing, and this is not only a smart thing. I think it's the way to sustain a team. And I'll give you an example for us in Rhode Island. Actually, coming this summer, we're excited. We're actually going to be starting a youth program. And what these MLS teams are doing now, they're trying to build farm systems whereby they can basically teach their philosophy at a very young age, and they can bring those players, and hopefully those players can play in the first team.
The fact that you've started a women's team and just these other teams in higher leagues, having their own teams in lower divisions. Talk to me about the progress of soccer with the American mindset these days. I know with kids it's bigger than ever, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is, to me, it has just been wonderful, really, how soccer has grown a lot. There is still a lot that needs to be done, especially on the amateur side of it. But the MLS is doing very well. I think, it's, and especially soccer, I should say, in southern New England is actually growing so big, it's unbelievable. I think recently they were saying that I think Providence is one of the largest, that's where you found the largest viewers of the Premiership in the whole country. for a small city like Providence, how much, people are into soccer nowadays, really, because of TV. And also, I think one of the good things also is the World Cup.
Right.
This is a year. This is a year for the World Cup.
Right.
So there's a little bit more excitement, compared to other years. But the World Cup is helping a lot too.
Didn't MLS sort of kind of parlay itself off of the success of the was it 96?
I think 94.
Right.
Yeah, the 94 World Cup.
And then 96, I guess, was when MLS kind of like kicked off, and now we're at the point where they kind of call it MLS 3.0, where the league has expanded. So interest in the country, and I think tell me if you agree or disagree with this or not. One of the reasons why Americans are kind of late to the party, so to speak, for soccer is there's just a lot of homegrown sports in this country, and soccer is kind of looked at as like sort of a foreigner's sport, or plus I think they might also be some reasoning, well, maybe there's not enough action in it or anything. But I think that the lack of it being a homegrown sport in their mindset is what holds it back a little bit.
Yeah, and I think you actually made a perfect point when you said, the lack of homegrown in their mindset. I'll give you a perfect example. Like on May 3rd, actually in Rhode Island, we actually celebrate one of the greatest soccer players that have ever played the game in the United States, named Billy Gonzalez. Billy Gonzalez is from Portsmouth, Rhode Island, has one of the highest scoring average in the country. He was a great player. I mean, if you look at his stats, you can compare to any international players back then, and he will actually be better. So soccer has been around for a long time, especially around this area. Yes, you're absolutely right. I think there's other sports that have taken quote unquote priority over soccer, but I think with with cable TV, with really soccer being now really an international game, and it has always been an international game, but in the U.S. it is expanding like really crazy, which is good.
Right.
It's really good. And also, I think one of the reasons why soccer is becoming very popular in the United States really is the cost for these kids. It's one of the least expensive sports you can involve your kids in. Every other sport you pay thousands of dollars just to get the equipment. Soccer, if you have sneakers, you have socks, and a T-shirt, you can go out there and play soccer and have fun.
Yeah.
So I think there's there's no option, but soccer is just going to keep growing in this country.
I think the key to success is at the grassroots level. Kids love it. It's probably the most popular sport. I think it's overtaking like Little League baseball for kids as far as popular sport. To get to the level, on the professional level, I think MLS is in its infancy. It's growing. They probably have to kind of relieve some of the financial restrictions that they have if it's going to be as big as some of the European leagues, because you have to be able to compete with them.
Yeah, and also, to be fair to the MLS, I think they're doing, a good job of really, bringing.
You think this expansion stuff is a good idea, or should they slow down a little bit, or?
Well, you know what? It's a good idea, but at the same time, too, you have to do it the right way. But I think what has happened to, if you look at recently with the leagues that we play in, with the PDL teams that are around, the PDL ideology is really, for me, I think is great. And that's where most of the European soccer or soccer around the world started, is really bringing soccer to the community. Whereby you can really have local players be able to perform at a high level, and eventually they can really go up into the quote-unquote professional round as time comes up. Most of these teams that we all look at right now, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester United, you name it. Years ago, they used to be, they all started from a community soccer base, and now they're an international team. So I think what the MLS is doing, they're growing rapidly, but also the market is there too, because soccer is getting very popular. And everybody wants to have a professional soccer team in their neighborhood. Right now, I think it looks like Atlanta is actually looking to get one.
They got approved.
They got approved. It looks like Beckham is going to put a team in Miami. So, it's all for the best. I think the more there's opportunity for people to play soccer, for me as a soccer fanatic, I think that's fine.
So let's talk a little bit more about the Rhode Island Reds FC. First of all, the stadium that you play in. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes. We play in a fantastic facility. It's called the Cranston Stadium. It's one of the oldest stadiums in the state of Rhode Island. It has been refurbished recently. It's a tough field, but it seats close to about 6,000 fans.
That's like good enough for like the USL.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it is, there's still improvement that they're doing in the stadium, but it's fantastic. It's our home field, and we're very proud of the field, and really very proud of the city too for allowing us to use the field.
They use it for other sports too, right?
Yes, they use it for they use it for football. They also use it for, I think, lacrosse for the high school too.
Your thoughts on turf versus grass? Because everybody would prefer to be on grass, but sometimes there are logistical reasons why you just can't do it, right?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think nowadays the technology with the turf is getting better. I personally prefer the grass, but
Well, you're a player,
yes, yeah. So I personally prefer the glass. I think most players prefer the glass, but at the same time, too, in New England, to me, it's common sense. I think a good turf would actually match most of the grass fields that we have around.
The last time we were at your place and talked about the Rhode Island Reds FC, we didn't get a chance to get into some of the coaching and the coaches. So I want to give you that opportunity now to talk about them.
Yes, I mean, we do have a fantastic group of people that are part of our coaching staff that have been with the Rhode Island Reds since the beginning. On the men's side, I'm the head coach. I also have Sheldon Townsend, who is the assistant head coach, and also Mario Gonzalez, who also is an assistant with us. Alex Renkoff is the assistant also on the men's side, but actually he is going to be stepping up and actually taking up the women's team as the head coach of the women's team. They've both been with us since the beginning. They understand our philosophy, what we're trying to do, and I think it's just a great group of people to work with. We also this year really have a backroom staff that have been very helpful, really trying to help us really not only market the team out there to a place, but also really reach out to the community. Because at the end of the day, for us, the Rhode Island Reds is about the community. It's about bringing people really to play the game, but also really entertaining, giving people entertainment that where they can take their families. I actually brought in a gentleman named Jonathan Fonseca as the president of the team, who basically runs the day-to-day operations of the team. So we're excited.
When does the season kick off for both the men's and women's teams?
Well, the season is going to kick off on May 17th. Our first home game is going to be against the Brooklyn Italians. They're coming to our home field.
Hey, we're coming to your town.
Yes. Hey. So that game is going to start at 7 p.m. We also have the women's team. We're excited. They're going to be playing with CFC Passion out of Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
That's their first home opener, and they'll be coming to Rhode Island to play with us. But before that, we do have like I said, the Billy Gonzalez Cup that we're playing on May 3rd. We're actually playing against Mass United, which is going to be, we're somewhat renewing our rivalry with Mass a little bit. So it's going to be, an exciting game. And at the same time, too, like I said, we are also, honoring one of the best players around, based on the stats that I've seen in the United States, who is Billy Gonzalez.
All right, is your league, the teams eligible to participate in the U.S. Open Cup?
Yes, actually this year, our league, there's 11 teams from our league that actually has participated in the U.S. Open Cup.
Nice.
And Brooklyn Italians is one of them actually from our area, and also the Red Bulls under 23 team representing our division. We also have RVA, which actually won the league last year, is also represented. So we have about 11 teams from the MPSL.
Nice. Yep. Website for people to go and learn more about the Rhode Island Reds FC and maybe get a schedule and stuff like that? Yes.
You can go to www.redsfc.com, which is the RI Rhode Island Reds FC.com. The schedule is up right now, both for the men's and the women's team. And also you can learn a little bit about the, the organization and what we're trying to achieve.
Before I let you go, will the United States be able to get out of the group stage? Germany, Ghana, was it Portugal?
Portugal?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough group.
It's a group of death, maybe?
Yeah, it's a tough group. But you know what? The U.S. has always done very well in international competition. So we'll see. It's the World Cup. Anything can happen. But, it's a tough group. It's a tough group.
You're hearing it here from Kaba Juf himself, the owner and head coach of the Rhode Island Reds FC. We're going to take a break, and we'll talk to players on both the men's and women's teams. When we come back, I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. Stay with us. Welcome back to For the Record. I'm Sean Murphy. We are here with the players now of the Rhode Island Reds FC and the newly formed women's team. We have forward Mariah Gonzalez joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. So
women's
excited.
team, this is exciting. Women's soccer in Rhode Island. How'd you get involved? Have you always liked soccer? Let's go back in time a little bit for you, all right?
Well, I've been playing for 19 years.
Wow.
So really, I've
Were you
always been
born?
involved.
Yeah, playing
soccer?
soccer?
I was born, came out playing soccer. But so I've always been involved, and the way that I found the Reds is I was playing indoor, and Kaba, the head coach, was reffing my game actually, and he approached me. He's like, "The Reds, this is what we're doing. We're gonna have a women's team." And I think that when you hear that such a small state like Rhode Island having a semi-professional team, it's kind of like a dream. You know what I mean? You're like, okay, you know, maybe that'll happen. And when he first approached me, it was over a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago. So it was kind of like, in the future, this is going to happen. But when I finally heard that it was coming together, I couldn't be more excited.
Now, is it a tough transition going from the indoor game to the outdoor because there are more players outside, right? Is indoor like, it's like 6 total? Or
yeah,
five?
It depends on the field. Some indoors are a little bit smaller, some are a little bigger. But it totally is different.
You got to run a lot more outside.
I prefer outdoor, really. I played outdoor in a women's league as well. So I think that being able to do this is just, it's real soccer.
It is. And, you know, I was talking to Kaba in the first segment about the popularity of soccer. How about for women, for girls in general? Do you see younger girls playing soccer as well? And is that the impetus to get women's soccer really going? But it is popular, especially since the women's team, you know, the national team does so well. Do girls like playing soccer? Is it a big thing now?
I'd say it's pretty big for your younger kids. It starts out co-ed, so you're with the boys. I think that it's the tough girls that really stick through it. Otherwise, people kind of piddle out and try different things. But it's getting popular. It's getting popular.
We were talking off the air in high school. We had at least one girl playing on our high school team with the boys, and I'm not sure if that was because there weren't enough girls to have their own team, or I think she was just good enough to play with the boys. And you had mentioned you would love to play on the boys' team.
Totally. In high school, I considered doing it because I've seen it before. I've seen men's teams in high school who have girls in their team. I think that's awesome. If that's what you want to do, go for it.
Plus, it makes you better as a because you're playing against you know guys, and that's only going to make you better as a player yourself, right?
Definitely, because especially at the high school level, sometimes the women's teams are a little lacking. You never know what you're going to get, so playing at the men's could definitely benefit you.
Yeah. So the rigors of this new season is starting out. Maybe the rigors of this season, you're going to love it, but I mean, it's a new experience for you, isn't it?
Totally. Yeah. It's really exciting because we don't know what to expect yet. We haven't seen any of the games. We're all going in cold turkey.
Right.
So.
Now, how big is the women's league?
It's the largest in the world, actually, the WPLS.
Wow.
So that's exciting. Definitely a lot of competition to come our way.
And how long can you play in this league? Is it possible for you to advance to you know, maybe a women's professional league? I mean, is that the goal? What do you want to do?
I personally like representing Rhode Island, so I would like to play here as long as possible until, you know.
Until they call you up to be on the Olympic team and the World Cup team. And so have you always been a forward on the team? I mean, are you a scorer? Are you a striker?
I've always been a forward my whole life. I tried sleeper once, not too bad, but I really do prefer forward and finishing off those goals.
Right, so you're a scorer. You
yeah.
know? What kind of practice does Kaba play? I know he may not be the head coach himself, but what kind of practice have you been going through so far now with the team?
Our head coach, Alex, has been putting us through a lot of just, you know, the basics, getting our touch ready. You know, we have really skilled girls on our team. We know what we're doing. He's just tuning up, bringing out the skills in us that we can just finish it and work together, basically.
So the season starts soon. It's a summer league. What happens during the winter? Do you stay in shape? Do you practice? What's your fitness level in the winter? Are you playing like maybe in another league or something?
I think most girls play indoor, and everybody, you know, goes to the gym and does their own cardio, sometimes together. As a team, we've done that.
But they tell you to stay fit.
Stay fit, of course.
During the winter.
But girls at this level really have been doing that their whole life. It's just natural.
And so you're gung-ho about it. You're excited.
Super.
Tell the family, you know, tell your friends that they want you down. Do you play on the same field, by the way?
Cranston Stadium, yeah.
Okay.
That's our home
So,
field.
and when is your first game?
Also May 17th.
Okay.
Our game's at 5, so we're first and then the men's.
All right. And are you a tough person out in the field? Is there a chance that there's going to be a yellow card coming your way to start out, you know?
There could be a little rumbling.
Yeah. Are you a flopper, by the way?
I mean, sometimes...
You're a forward, so you're going to drop in the box and you're going to try to...
Sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes you're going to
you're
get that
admitting
PK.
it. Oh, my goodness. You're
Honesty.
Now, what's your opinion? I'm going to ask all you guys this about playing on turf versus grass. I'm sure everyone would prefer to play on grass, but like Kaba said, you know, the quality of the turf is getting better and better all the time.
Totally. I mean, I know when I was younger, the turf was like sandpaper, and now you can fall on it and, you know, not be too beat up.
Right.
But of course, we love grass. Grass is really where you want it. But around here in New England, you could have holes and ditches. Sometimes just good turf is okay.
Mariah Gonzalez, forward for the women's Rhode Island Reds FC. Looking forward to that first game. Thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you.
One more player to get to, so we'll take a break and come back. I'm Sean Murphy. Stay with us. Welcome back to For the Record. One more time, we are chatting with the players of Rhode Island Reds FC. Now, a guy player. He's an attacking midfielder. His name's Jason Garcia. He's a veteran of the team, been there for a few seasons now. Welcome to the show. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Rhode Island Reds FC. For those, all your friends and your family know about it because obviously they've been going to your games for a while. But anybody who doesn't know, what are they missing out on?
Missing out on great competition. Like probably the closest thing to MLS right now, and it's local, so I don't know. It's very good competition, definitely.
You know, that's the key. I mean, you can go to MLS games, NFL games, but you're going to pay these local games in your community. You know, right? It's inexpensive to bring the family, have a hot dog, watch some great soccer.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. I definitely agree with that. The kids definitely from the community can definitely enjoy a good game without traveling so far. It's right there in the community, and like I said, you're just having the same amount of competition, basically.
So tell me your job as an attacking midfielder. Is that sort of setting somebody up more so, or can you score when the opportunity's there? Talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. I personally prefer creating opportunities for my teammates. But yeah, if the opportunity is there, you got to finish. You got to score.
So then you're an assist guy more than anything else.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So how you liking the league? How you liking the teams that you're playing against? Is there some serious competition?
Definitely some serious competition. We built over the past few years a couple of rivalries with definitely Brooklyn Italians. And New York Red Bulls is always a pleasure playing against those guys.
Now, when you're talking, rivalry, does it get is there some animosity going on there?
Yeah, definitely. We've had a couple of brawls in the past few seasons. I'm not gonna say I was involved, but
you got to be with your players,
of course, you got to back everybody up.
So going into your third season now, what are you hoping for? I mean, obviously you want your team to do well, but you personally too. Like, is there
me personally? Being the captain of the team, I believe we need to definitely be top 3, nothing less than that. I think with the players we're bringing in from colleges and that Cabo Jufa has also recruited, I think we have a good chance with definitely going in top 3.
As captain, what are some of your roles, your duties? I mean, are you there to motivate the other players, keep them in line, make sure nobody does something stupid?
Yeah, definitely. Set an example for everyone. But be the first one there, last one to leave. Just take the team on my shoulders, definitely.
And some of the same questions that I asked Mariah, like off-season training, fitness, what do you do? Because you're now starting the beginning of the season. What was going on during this brutal winter that we just had?
Oh, it's brutal winter. I actually don't mind the brutal winter. It's where I do all my fitness. I go running on my own, eat snow, whatever it is, hail.
Really outside?
Yeah, outside. Really? And gyms, there's always plenty of gyms to go to, so there's never any excuses. But yeah, always got to prepare yourself for a tough season, every season.
Now, what do you think about playing on the turf? Are you used to it? Because you practice on grass and you play your games. Now, I don't know what some of the other teams' fields are like. Some turf, some grass?
Yeah. Honestly, I grew up playing on grass my whole life. It was tough getting used to the turf. Actually, last season, a couple of our guys, with the heat, our foot melted right through the shoe.
Oh my goodness!
I need a new pair of cleats.
Boy, it's like one or the other. It's like a brutal winter or real hot summer.
Yeah, this New England weather is crazy.
So you can understand why turf is up here, but maybe even some dome stadiums. So for the bigger teams, just for the sake of
just for the sake of. But I don't mind it. I'm definitely got used to it. I like it. You can't complain. There's no excuses. No potholes ruining your shots. So no excuses.
That's right. Now. You'll never say yes to this, but I asked Mariah, so I'll ask you. Have you ever flopped, ever?
I won't say flop, but I'll know how to sell it.
Got to be good actors on the field,
exactly.
Too. Now, Mariah wouldn't let me talk about any World Cup stuff with her, so I'll ask you quick. Men's or just soccer in general in this country, do you think it's picking up? It's getting more popular for sure. Kids are playing it more?
Definitely. I wish growing up this Rhode Island Reds was
here.
Yeah. I'm a little older than most of the guys on the team, but yeah, it's definitely a great opportunity for all the younger guys to move forward to better colleges or possibly a better professional league like USL or MLS eventually.
Yeah.
So
Can the U.S. Get out of the group stage? There's some tough teams in there.
Tough teams, definitely.
But
Germany,
if you want to be the
course,
best, you got to play the best.
Exactly. And USA, honestly, they actually do well against tougher teams. So I think they have a good chance, definitely.
When you're out and about, do you see more and more kids playing soccer nowadays?
Definitely more than when I used to.
Yeah, back because you said you're one of the older ones.
Oh,
it was probably a lot more little league back then, you know, and there's more soccer. There's a reason why the soccer mom term, you know, came into existence in the first place, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm surprised. When I was growing up, there was only a couple good teams, like decent recreational teams, but now you see it everywhere. Every town, and they have tons and tons of teams. Everyone would rather play soccer than anything else. So.
Rhode Island Reds FC. The season is starting. What's the date of the first game again?
17th.
You getting pumped up? Everybody, you got everybody coming to the game?
Definitely.
All right, and where's the stadium at? Because we want people to go to the town.
It's at Cranston Stadium.
All right, and we'll put the website graphic up on the screen one more time for people to go. Looking forward to the season. And thank you guys, all of you, for coming on the show today. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Jason Garcia, go see him, an attacking midfielder for the Rhode Island Reds FC. Season is starting soon. I'm Sean Murphy. This is For the Record. You can see this show and many others on our YouTube site. Until next time, take care.